Sean Combs is kicking off the new year in a place no one ever expected to see him, behind bars. For someone who spent decades building a larger-than-life image of success, power, and invincibility, this reality is hitting harder than any of his chart-topping hits. Insiders reveal that jail is taking an undeniable toll on the music mogul. Not just his freedom is at stake, but his sanity seems to be slipping too. Diddy's days at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn are a far cry from the lavish lifestyle he's accustomed to. Reports suggest he's struggling to adapt to the harsh environment and may be using medical visits as an escape route. Sources claim he's been making frequent trips to the hospital in an attempt to buy himself some time outside of custody. Here's the kicker: it's not working out the way he planned. His pleas for release are falling on deaf ears, and each failed attempt only adds to the mounting frustration. Diddy's days at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn are a far cry from the lavish lifestyle he's accustomed to. Reports suggest he's struggling to adapt to the harsh environment and may be using medical visits as a potential escape route. Sources claim he's been making frequent trips to the hospital in an attempt to buy himself some time outside of custody. The kicker: it's not going the way he planned. His pleas for release are falling on deaf ears, and each failed attempt only adds to the mounting frustration. Diddy, officially charged with racketeering and extortion last September, has seen his requests for bail repeatedly denied. His defense team initially proposed house arrest at his Miami mansion and later pivoted to suggesting his luxury New York apartment as an alternative. However, the courts remain unmoved, citing his flight risk, potential danger to the community, and allegations that he attempted to tamper with witnesses while in custody. In a recent setback, the mounting stress appears to have pushed Diddy to the edge. Sources reveal that he has resorted to meditation techniques in an effort to calm himself. Despite these attempts at self-care, his appearance has noticeably deteriorated. He is described as thinner, grayer, and more haggard. This has raised concerns that the weight of his legal battles is taking a significant toll on him. One insider commented, "This is kind of normal. When you're going through something this tragic and you're depressed, you don't know what's going to happen next." Others suggest that Diddy may also be fearful for his safety in prison. Rumors circulate that he's eating less due to suspicions the food could be tampered with, perhaps even poisoned. A source speculated, what if someone knew somebody in the prison who could put something in his food, a little bit at a time until he gets poisoned? Then it's an early checkout for him. On the day after Christmas, Diddy allegedly begged guards to take him to the prison hospital for observation, believing he was on the verge of a breakdown. When the guards denied his request, he reportedly began to lose his composure, creating a tense situation. A source close to Diddy shared that he and his high-powered legal team had anticipated he'd be out on bail by now. Spending the holidays behind bars has been a nightmare for him. Despite the initial turmoil, Diddy eventually managed to calm himself down using the meditation techniques he's been practicing while in custody. It took him a bit, the source explained. After hours of deep breathing exercises, he finally got himself out of the bad space he was in. This isn't the first time Diddy has attempted to have his way while in custody. Sean Combs faces accusations of relentlessly trying to corruptly influence witness testimony. Prosecutors allege he used other inmates' phones and made three-way calls to contact unauthorized individuals, as revealed during a court hearing. They claim Combs instructed his family to reach out to potential witnesses, with the evidence coming from recorded phone calls. A judge recently ordered the destruction of certain materials seized from his jail cell, ruling that they could not be used at trial. Combs' defense team argued the notes were illegitimately obtained and contained privileged attorney-client information. Prosecutors, however, countered that the materials indicated attempts to obstruct justice. Since his arrest on November 16 in Manhattan, Combs has been denied bail, with prosecutors citing a high risk of witness tampering and obstruction. Last week, his lawyers proposed a $50 million bail package, including 24/7 monitoring under house arrest, but the court remained unmoved. Andrea Shapiro, one of Combs' attorneys, argued that jail conditions, including frequent lockdowns and limited access to resources, hinder his ability to adequately prepare for his defense. They accused him of orchestrating a social media campaign to influence public opinion and the jury pool. One cited example was a video posted on November 5 of Combs' children wishing him well, which prosecutors claim was part of a public relations strategy to sway opinion on the case. Additionally, prosecutors alleged that Combs used other inmates' phones to direct payments and contact witnesses. They described his actions as part of a broader campaign to manipulate witnesses, including alleged victims, urging them to deny the accusations against him. Prosecutors concluded that no set of bail conditions could mitigate the risks posed by Combs, stating, "The defendant has demonstrated an uncanny ability to get others to do his bidding." Defense attorneys criticized the prosecution's claims, describing Combs' incarceration conditions as excessively harsh and arguing they undermine his ability to prepare his case. The legal battle continues to intensify, with the case gaining momentum. In a recent ruling, one of the accusers was granted anonymity, a move prosecutors argue is crucial to the case's integrity. Meanwhile, Diddy's defense team plans to challenge the allegations, pointing to inconsistencies in the accuser's statements and questioning their motives, suggesting they may be driven by fame or money. The court's approach to bail remains contentious. While initial bail decisions are typically reviewed de novo, allowing the magistrate judge to reconsider the case without relying on previous rulings, appeals against bail denials follow a more deferential standard. This means an appellate court can overturn a lower court's decision only if it finds the ruling unreasonable or an abuse of discretion. This dynamic sets a high bar for reversing prior bail denials, adding another layer of complexity to Combs' legal. The situation for Diddy continues to grow more complex as time goes on, with new evidence and additional allegations compounding his legal challenges. These developments make it increasingly difficult for him to succeed in appeals or to mitigate the consequences of ongoing legal battles. Reports suggest that Diddy has caused delays in legal proceedings by refusing to leave his jail cell to accept service for multiple lawsuits. Recently, Bad Boy Records founder Diddy Combs, who remains in custody on racketeering charges, has faced accusations from attorney Talbi Busby's co-counsel of stalling the proceedings. A motion submitted on December 30 highlighted delays that have led to the postponement of two specific cases. Judges rescheduled a conference originally set for January 10 and pushed jury deliberations to February. Both legal teams have reportedly agreed to the adjustments. Among the lawsuits is one filed by Philip Pines, a former assistant to Diddy, who has accused him of sexual battery, harassment, and exploitation. According to TMZ, Pines alleges these incidents occurred between January and September 2021, during his time working for Diddy. The lawsuit details Pines' responsibilities, which included managing and cleaning up after wild gatherings. These events reportedly involved stocking rooms with items like honey packs, baby oil, alcohol, and maca root. The gatherings allegedly lasted for days and required Pines to clean up bodily fluids, drug residue, and other messes. Pines further claims that Diddy coerced him into engaging in sexual acts with a woman while Diddy watched. Hotel staff were allegedly paid off to ensure the events remained unreported. Diddy's legal team has denied these allegations, with a statement asserting that no matter how many lawsuits are filed, it won't alter the truth. "We live in a world where anyone can file a lawsuit for any reason," the statement read. Fortunately, a fair judicial process exists to uncover the truth, and Mr. Combs is confident he will prevail in court. In another glimpse into Diddy's life behind bars, reports revealed what Christmas was like for him and his fellow inmates at the Metropolitan Detention Center. Inmates were given a holiday sack containing small treats such as cookies, chips, and candy. However, sources described the offerings as lackluster, with some items reportedly expired or low quality. As the legal battles continue to mount, Diddy faces an uphill climb against a growing number of accusations. While his team remains steadfast in defending his character and innocence, the cases threaten to take his situation to a whole new level of scrutiny. Grayson has filed the lawsuit, claiming that what began as an exciting radio contest prize quickly turned into one of the most horrifying experiences of her life. According to Grayson, she woke up in a hospital with no memory of how she ended up there, feeling disoriented and alone. This lawsuit was filed in New York federal court, and as she steps forward, Grayson is joining a growing number of individuals who have made similar anonymous accusations against Diddy in the past. Her chilling story ties into one of Diddy's infamous moments involving a coordinated effort among a radio station, a hotel, and even an airline, all of which allegedly contributed to the trauma she experienced. The incident dates back to 2006, when a radio station in Oklahoma, KJAM 105.3, hosted a giveaway sponsored by Diddy's Bad Boy Entertainment and Atlantic Airlines. The grand prize was a luxury trip to New York City, complete with an exclusive invitation to one of Diddy's high-profile parties, events known for their elite guest lists and celebrity appearances. For Grayson, it sounded like the opportunity of a lifetime, but little did she know that what was supposed to be a dream come true would soon spiral into a nightmare. Environment. Once inside the party, Grayson describes the unsettling atmosphere. Unlike traditional social gatherings with open bars, the event had a strange setup where pre-made cocktails were handed out by waitstaff. After consuming a drink, Grayson began to feel increasingly disoriented. She tried to go to the restroom multiple times, but each time she lost track of what was happening. The next thing she remembers is waking up in a hospital bed at St. Vincent's Medical Center, confused and terrified. Her money had been stolen, and she had no memory of how she ended up there or what had transpired. Hospital staff informed her that she had been found unconscious and brought in for emergency care. The horror of waking up in such a state, with no answers, left her traumatized. Not long after, Grayson received a phone call from a woman who warned her not to take any legal action against Diddy. The caller allegedly cited Diddy's wealth and influence, insinuating that he could make things very difficult for her. The intimidation only heightened Grayson's fear and confusion, and as a result, she chose not to report what had happened. Fast forward 2 decades, and Grayson says she now feels safe enough to speak out about her experience. This comes at a time when Diddy is facing federal charges, including those related to racketeering. Grayson's decision to finally share her story is part of a larger wave of individuals who are coming forward, seeking justice and accountability.